What's up, guys? What's up, girls? Human people. So I'm just really excited right now because I just got off a phone call with a client of mine and we went over a really good principle that I just want to share with you today as you're watching this video. And these are my hand motions because I watch other video where people use their hands to explain what it is that they're saying. So you're just getting raw Andrew today. And gosh, this is going to be so powerful for you if you actually watch the whole thing. So maybe you hit the save button and come back and watch it if like you're in the middle of something or driving. It's going to be some visuals, but it's mostly auditorial. Why? Because I'm an auditorial learner, so there's not going to be too much videos. All right? But here's the point that I really want you to get, is that there's really 4 categories that help us determine what it is that we're doing in life, okay? And we deem these in our own philosophy, in our own religion, in our own version of the world that we see, okay? Because we all see through the lens of our own perspective. That's a John Maxwell quote from his book, not The Lens Principle, although he could write a whole book. And John, if you're watching this, you need to write a whole book on just the lens principle because it changed my life when I learned it. And it's called Winning with People. It's a green book by John Maxwell, and in that, chapter number 4 is the lens principle. You're going to want to read it. It's one of the best chapters. So we all see through the lens of our own perspective. So I'm coming at you from a Texas, American, Christian, Baptist philosophy and upbringing. That's how I was raised. So that's my vantage point. You might have a different one. That's okay, because we all have different ones. But here's what's the same, okay? Is that in life, we have evil. That's not a C, that's an L. Evil exists in the world, no matter your philosophy. Evil exists in the world. But what's one step below evil? Wrong. Wrong. That's what's below evil. I can't believe they did that. They shouldn't have passed that bill. That's wrong. They shouldn't have cut me off in traffic. That's wrong. Right? And even if you're like kind of indifferent about it, like, yeah, that's wrong. That shouldn't have happened. That's bad. Okay? These often get kind of confused. So let me go over it real quick. What's wrong? All right? But here is where things shift. You let somebody over into traffic. That is the right thing to do. Oh, what a good boy you are. You did the right thing. You did the right thing. You know, whether it's giving up some more of what it is that you have, your resources, it's the right thing to do. You know, you were raised that way. You just think that it's the right thing to do according to your vantage point on the world. You know, it's the right thing to do. To buy an iPhone. It's wrong to buy an Android, but it's right to buy an iPhone. You know, that's just an example. Maybe it's the opposite for you. So there's right and wrong, and then on the other side of right is godly. As a coach, I don't ignore supernatural. Some of y'all try to ignore it when you're coaching people, and some of you try to ignore it whenever you're sharing a message. Just be human, right? But you can't ignore the divinity of humanity, right? Because we were created in God's image. So, the godly thing to do, right? Coming from my background, this is the 10 Commandments. This is what Jesus' commands were: to love one another, to turn the other cheek. There's the godly things to do. It's beyond just what's right, but it's the godly thing to do. Now, here's a new word that maybe you haven't heard yet. You're going to hear it a lot in the future, okay? So, it's the accurate thing. What is the accurate thing? Depends. It's called wisdom. It's called being wise. The accurate thing could be doing something that's wrong. It might be. The accurate thing might be to cut somebody off in traffic. You know why? Because your wife's about to give birth and you're trying to get to that hospital as fast as possible. It's wrong. You shouldn't cut people off in traffic. But you know what? It's accurate. Because according to your philosophy, the godly thing to do is to preserve life. To help your wife get to that hospital as fast as possible so she can be as safe as possible. So you can do everything in your power to do not the right thing. Because what you did was the wrong thing. You cut somebody off in traffic. Maybe you yelled at somebody to immediately get their attention. And people would say, you shouldn't do the wrong thing. No. You shouldn't do the evil thing. Evil things like murder. That's evil. Now, I'm not just going to waste time listing out things that are evil for you to digest and think about. But are you doing the wrong thing when it's godly? It's a question you're going to want to ask yourself. Now, the majority of the time, these two, which is why I colored them this way, typically these two things go together, and typically these things go together. But life's not typical. Life is atypical. It's the opposite of typical. There's no such thing as a typical day. So when you really grab a hold of this, you'll learn that accuracy in your decisions is not based on right and wrong. This is not what you think about when you're making the highest and best decisions. It's about godly. It's about evil. You have to think one level deeper or one level higher to see the big picture. If you're the one in the forest, I recommend you go deeper so you can get to the heart of the matter. But if you're outside and you're consulting something outside, you either need to help the person inside go deeper or you need to zoom out bigger so you can see what's going on. Because whenever you zoom out, that's power right there. You can see more. You have more information to make a more accurate decision. So really, this is the basis of philosophy that not a lot of people grasp, especially not at a younger age. So if you can get this thinking down, it's going to multiply what it is that you're touching right now, the lives that you're touching, the businesses that you're touching, the people that you're impacting, all of it. If you get your decisions down to a simple process and philosophy of is this the accurate thing to do? Quite often, the reason you end up doing the wrong thing when it's not godly, it's just wrong. It might not be evil, but you cleaned out the coffee mug instead of making more phone calls. That's inaccurate. Because if you had just made more money, you could have hired somebody else out to do that. You could have done it after calling hours. You made the inaccurate decision. So when it's not necessarily evil or godly, it's just wrong, you're going to want to pass over that. Just be like, yep, it happened. And I'm moving on. Most of you right now, what's holding you back is you made some wrong decisions in your life. It wasn't evil. It wasn't evil. It was just wrong. You just regret it. You just shouldn't have done it. But it's your relationship to that. It's your relationship to that wrong that's happened that's ruining everything in your life right now. So what you're going to want to do is analyze it, admit that it was wrong, and get over it. Because now that you're aware of this, you can move over into godly. You can move over into things that you deem are right. Or you can do things that are godly and wrong and be okay with it. Because you know it's the highest and best outcome in that scenario. So there's a lot more that I do one-on-one. This is the overview. But I just had to share this message with you. Really wanted to let you know that. All right? Love you dudes, gals, people of the world. Have fun.